Yes,
It's Will.
Hey.
Shit.
Whoa.
Hey, Will! Oh my gosh! So good to see you.
Really loud. Turn that down. How's it going?
But also Hans is not here, so we're still down
We're
one
still
person.
down a person.
Oh. Hello.
How's it going?
Tired.
I'm sure.
I don't think there is no other state of being at that time of life.
Have fun for the next 18 years!
That's not true.
At some point they
I
start
mean, I
sleeping
think
through the
you'll
night.
be able to sleep.
Yeah, at some point the tiredness goes away for the sleeping, and you generally can just sleep, and everyone sleeps, and that's great.
Instead, you're just emotionally exhausted.
Depending, yes. Some days.
How are you
some
doing, Will?
days.
I'm tired. How are you?
Not tired.
Cool. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to
Good evening to you.
Release 6, wherein Will returns and we try to get to Steam. It's all very exciting. Really quick, do we want to run through what is still left on the board? Because it looks like we got some bugs done and ant cut serialization done, and some other stuff is still in flight. And just finish cleaning it up before we move into planning.
Sure.
Sure.
So the main work item is the long range scanning, which it looks like is still in progress. George. Okay.
Yeah, so I've been sidelined by bugs along the way and other kinds of things. So I'm trying. Whoa.
Let there be light.
Okay. So what? Oh yeah. Am not finished with it.
Okay. Cool. Brandon, on the production show week 32, that's been sitting there for a bit. Is it finished and uploaded?
That's done, so yeah, that should just be. I'll just be that done.
Okay. Cool. Then let's switch over to sprint planning board.
Bye, Will.
Will is struggling this morning. He hasn't done this in a while. Cool. So the overall goal, as Han sort of said in the general chatting messages or whatever, wherever he was posting it, I forget, is basically what is the MVP to Steam and shortest path to get there. And we should be prioritizing what we need to do that. And so we have the stuff that we didn't get done in Release 5 in a column. We have our backlog. And then we have Release 6 set up with the Steam release next to it. And so basically we should just be pulling stuff in, rescoping it if we need to make it the absolute MVP to get live on Steam, and build out Release 6. Sound good?
Yep.
Aligned?
So I can just start moving things if I think it should go in 6?
Sure, let's do that, because that will move fast. You're back. Are we not robots?
Beep boop.
Beep boop, boop, beep boop.
Very helpful.
So am I moving stuff from the Steam update into 6?
You can, yeah.
Should we be just putting everything into 6 that we think needs to be in 6,
Yeah,
which would
what
be
is necessary for
this
Yeah.
is necessary for Steam.
Yes. The goal would be sometime during release 6, which maybe is at the very end. We ship to early access, and by the very end, I mean like the Monday after, because we're not going to ship on a Friday, obviously. Obviously, says the producer, who will
Is that
one day push a
obvious?
patch on Friday.
I was like, is that obvious?
You'll kill me. Oh yeah, that's done.
There's a task in there that is already finished, but I don't know why it's in
Which one?
Steam. The tooltip task. We've already done the migration of all the
Okay.
tooltips.
Then let's
Game
eliminate it.
game
Yeah.
clarity tooltips and UX, or which one?
No, there's one that was like convert tooltips to Unreal type.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can just archive.
Well, that's done.
It's gone.
Like matter, blah blah. As a player.
Also, we should probably disambiguate the I want celestial bodies to feel unique and I want each system to feel unique kind of thing, because they are very similar, but they have different goals. Whereas the one in the Steam update column is about gameplay versus the one in what's the previous column over there?
Release
Marketing
5.
push, release 5. Yeah, that one's more about the look and feel and the UX.
Mm-hmm.
So we should probably disambiguate them based on that, or at least that's my impression. Is that, does that sound correct to you?
Yeah, that's so the one at the top of release 5, I want every system I jump into to feel like it has a structure to it and presents a beautiful dynamic picture. That is definitely how it looks.
That's a visual layer.
That's a visual layer, and then encounters that feel diverse and have depth, so that every system feels unique and worth exploring. Yeah, that's mechanics. Does that
Yeah,
not?
that's definitely the gameplay.
Does that not feel distinct?
It does now that I'm thinking about it. My gut was that, like, when I read the two of them, my immediate reaction was, "Oh shit, we have a duplicate." But I think it's fine.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
How dare you? Cool. What else needs to be in release 6?
Are we moving things from the Steam update into
Yeah.
release 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Narrative teaser or gameplay teaser trailer. Those two? Are they different?
Yeah, you'd want those when we go to Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna pull them in.
Pricing exercise seems important.
Oh yeah, we'd also need the Steam deploy pipeline.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna ask
actually
about
put that. That's just how we upload things to Steam. From
Yeah.
Jenkins. That
but we
has
have that under the Steam product page card
as well.
as well as on the checklist. Do we want?
I think this is another task because I don't think it is just a checkbox. It's a
Okay.
non-trivial amount of work.
So I'm gonna move from the checklist of the Steam page.
Yeah, you can take it off the
yeah.
checklist.
Off that, yeah, it's not
The-
just a sub item.
in the
This is
Jenkins pipeline. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Jenkins pipeline.
Just to
game.
compress things down, I'm gonna move stuff out of this release 5 bucket and just throw it in the backlog,
Makes sense.
because otherwise this is extra.
All right.
What if I want to be extra?
I mean, you already are extra. You can be as extra as you want to be.
Yes.
I really feel like we have to do some game balance through playtesting. I know that.
I mean, it's going to be happening. Is the thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like we should just take that in to make sure that we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of this was like some of these cards like that, and We Need Money were both created very early on when I was like just typing stuff. So I mean, we can move it in, but that should just be an expectation throughout all of this. But
I kind of feel like we need to pretty badly. What is that light on my face? When I sit back, there's a light that appears on my. I can't figure out what it is. Okay, whatever. And it just goes away all of a sudden. Oh no, it didn't go away that time.
No, I think it's a reflection potentially from a light on the camera lens of the laptop. It's
Okay.
still
Anyway,
fuzzy.
sorry about that.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think we desperately need to do some serious changing of the game. Like instead of adding a feature, I'd rather go through and make sure that the game is more fun.
We just need to get
Overall.
long range scanning in. That's the last
Yeah.
system that needs to be in place. Oh, and the starting captain piece, the unique fleet.
Yeah.
Those things need to be in, and then it's just balance. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's enough systems there to tune to something that is actually like fitting of the vision from a gameplay perspective.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the only other, like, it's not even a system thing, but it's the making the visuals, I think is important to get into. At least starting down that path, because right now, whenever I jump into a system, I just want to rage out at the perfectly placed 6 planets in a row.
I mean, I have some thoughts on how we can approach that to make that look. I was talking with Hans about it.
Sweet.
Some interesting stuff there.
But
I mean, it's basically I'm gonna have to make a new map and try some stuff.
Yeah, did we put the resources bug in here?
Yes, that thing needs to be fixed because we can't balance the game until that's fixed.
Yeah, the
There it is.
refactor.
Yeah, it is. There it is.
Seems
Refactor,
necessary.
fix whatever bug, massive bug is there.
There's another big bug right now where you can't build anything. For some reason, the ship is reporting back as 0 hard points.
All the time? Does it actually have 0 hard points?
No, it has open hard points. I already went in and changed. So there was a lowercase h for hard points when it was reading from the JSON file. I fixed that, but it's still reporting 0 hard points for all ships. So you just cannot build installations. It's constantly saying number of hard points used is greater than 0 because 0 is the thing it's comparing to.
Huh.
So I'll fix it eventually. Yeah, feel free if you see something too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Maybe we
it's
can
a
figure that
cool
one
bug.
out. Yes, that needs to be fixed. I don't care about. I can work
you
with
guys.
What's that?
I can hear.
I can hear you.
I said, am I? Okay, so I'm not coming in robotic or anything.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Honestly, I don't care about the debug menu right now.
Agreed.
I've been able to work around not having the debug menu.
JSON cheating is good enough.
Yeah. Save game cheating is even better now.
Oh, nice! I didn't think about that.
You can just edit
That's
the
such a
save
good
case
idea.
on. You're like, yep, let's change all my values.
Do.
I don't even care about.
They're playing music here that makes me really want to play Tropico so badly.
Don't care about the adaptive music.
That's
Did you? This is completely unrelated, but randomly, George, they had a booth up at PAX that had Tropico whatever 6, I think. But on
6, yeah.
But on the other side of the booth, apparently they acquired and remastered Startopia, and so they're like re-releasing
Really?
Startopia.
Yeah.
Which makes me very excited because that
Yeah,
was an
me
awesome
too.
game. It was like
It was
like
exciting,
one of the few Dungeon Keeper-ish clones that felt really good because it actually tried to do some pretty different stuff, especially tonally. So, made me happy.
Celestial Body Uniqueness card.
I don't think that needs to go in right now. I mean, so I'm talking about MVP. I'm not talking about, like, obviously I want it. It needs to happen at some point. I just think for Steam MVP, we actually don't need it. Like, the game is going to be... It's going to be something we have to do pretty quickly, but I don't think we need it for Steam MVP.
if we magically had extra time, we're like, oh, look at our Steam MP. That would be one of the first things I would pull in to add.
Yep.
Agreed.
No, I agree.
Agreed 100%.
But it's lower
Yeah.
priority than all the things that are currently in Release 6.
Yep, I think we should leave Release 6 exactly as is for the Steam MVP, and then not include anything else unless it's like you only drag something in if you literally have nothing else to work. No, I don't mean that there's nothing there, but meaning like you specifically either because of a skill set or a whatever or anything, like if you're done with work you can pull things in. Otherwise, we should probably just stick with the bare bones right there of what we have.
So, how do we feel about the current column of Release 6?
I think it actually looks legit.
And can I ask, did we determine whether Will said he was going to be able to do it? Should we just assume that we're not going to use his time at all? Or, I mean, I'm not trying to pressure for him to work or anything. I just mean, do we account that into this or not?
I mean, I think what we should do is we should expect that Will has a presence, but not necessarily count on his commitment of work until he has a better idea of how his return is going, right? Because I want him to be able to feel like he has the freedom to duck out if it's clearly not working. And he's in chat, so I assume he'll chime in here at some point. But like my expectation is right now he'll be around. He'll probably spend a decent amount of time catching up, and he'll probably only be around part time and pretty exhausted. So, how much? Like, I wouldn't necessarily want him to lead the charge on a card, per se, but like there's probably a ton of work that he can contribute to. He can probably rubber duck stuff, et cetera, et cetera. So, I would say let's plan with more of that in mind. So like let's keep it to us as a team, and then will be a additive force where he can be. He says he's expecting to work, but again, like I just want to make sure that we're flexible there. Does that make sense?
Yep, sorry, I was muted.
Yes, you were. Cool. So how does Brandon said he felt pretty good about it, and how do you feel about Release 6 right now?
I feel good about it. I think this is stuff I want to go through and size some of these. Although most of them are sized, right?
There's a lot that are sized. Cool. I actually want to knock this back to there.
I'm getting massive lag right now in my down video. Hearing you guys are coming in super stuttery and everything. Am I also, or?
No, you're fine.
Are you talking about like the?
I knocked the narrative teaser back. Just because like I think that has a ton of uncertainty around how we're going to build it, and so like I'll push stuff forward around like voice acting and that kind of stuff, and with the assets Tyson gave us, I think we have more tools to make it now, but I think that it's still going to take some effort that we probably could put towards other stuff.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
Okay.
So I think that is fine. Good stuff.
Oh, okay. George is on the phone. Cool. So why don't we go from the top then, and maybe do some rewriting of cards if we need to, and then sizing and stuff. I don't know if we should really size game balance through playtesting. That's sort of a like.
It's a call to action to just do it. Like,
Do it. Can we just put story points? Do it.
do it.
All right, so let's talk about refactoring resource pools between ships.
Uh,
What does that entail?
really, it's just fixing. Like, I don't think it's going to be any of the like shuttles going back and forth, any of that stuff. It's really just fixing the problem where you can get infinite fuel, increasing fuel. When you use an ability that uses more resources than a ship has, it properly like deducts the resources as necessary from close ships. I'll put the quote in. Just basically fixing them back up so that they do what we expect them to do, not what currently is happening. And it's just a random mess of sometimes when I use Grand Celebration, I spend 50 food. Sometimes I spend 119. Like, it's a random idea of how much food is going to be come off my ship, and where it's coming from. So, it just needs to be done and all that fixed so that we can balance things and just know for a fact that, yep, stuff costs what it costs. You can't jump forever. You got to care about your fuel.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of it is just fixing it up so that when you click a button, numbers go down in the way that you expect them to go down.
Expect them to go down. Yes.
Yeah.
So
It's working for metal and gas for the most part. At least
they would still probably end up with this problem. It is when one ship doesn't have enough resources for it.
Oh, okay.
It's when it starts pulling from other ships and it starts getting wonky. And the fuel is especially a bad one on that part.
By the way, if the background music here is like really loud and obnoxious and whatever, I can go back to my room.
I can't even
I
hear
don't
it.
hear
You're
anything.
fine.
Oh wow, whoa, that's pretty awesome. That is amazing.
I mean, you're loud and obnoxious, but
Boom.
Savaged.
Loved it. Can I have another, sir?
Okay. So let's do sizing on refactoring resources. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna say 5 or 3. I'm going up. I'm gonna say 5 then.
All right, then I'll go.
We had a 3, an 8, and 2 5, so I'm averaging to 5.
Okay. So we will do 8. Okay.
Why'd you do
sorry,
8?
Wait,
sorry,
he
sorry,
said
sorry, sorry,
5.
sorry, sorry, sorry. I'm an idiot. It's fine.
I like how he's like, Anthony said 5, so I'm gonna pick 8.
That sounds about right.
I mean, honestly, I think that's a pretty good summation of our relationship. So, pricing exercise. So this is basically just going through and it's partially figuring out what current costs are on the marketplace, but it's also looking at how much content do we have and how much is it worth to get that content, right? Because if we have too little content and charge too much, people are probably not going to be particularly happy with that. But if we nail it, and then we can always go up over time, right? So it's just a case of like, where should we end up slotting? I think we originally talked about 20, but like just doing the exercise and the math and stuff to do that, which is mostly market valuation, I think.
Is there any contacting of are there any organizations or agencies or player bases or things that we're going to involve with it, or is it just going to be research on what other companies have done and just trying to estimate?
I feel like you muted yourself halfway through talking.
I didn't. It's probably the lag. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was saying.
I was more just the video. You kept talking, and so I couldn't tell. And now you're gone.
I'll see ya.
Hi, George.
I didn't mean to do that. I literally, it wasn't Discord. That was me. That was a user accidentally clicked leave call.
You're like, I'm out. Screw this crap.
My bad.
No, it's
What were
fine.
you saying?
No, I think I heard everything you said. I just noticed that you were still talking, so I couldn't tell if you were continuing your thought or stuff. But if it's just the video lag, that's fine. Cool. So I don't think we're going to involve anyone else necessarily. Like, I imagine that we might hit people up to get advice or perspective. Like if Brandon or I can think of people to hit up, or Hans, frankly, or Ant, I guess. Ant knows some people. But like, I imagine we're mostly just going to have to guess this ourselves. So yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Cool. Ready to size?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
I can go down to 3. So it's fine.
Yep. Story points 3. Cool. So as a player, I want every system jump into feel like it has structure and all this stuff. So we've talked about this a bunch. I wrote some stuff. Does this still feel like a 13?
It's probably with what I've heard. It's either a 13 or an 8 now, depending. But it's still going to be a lot of, well, not a lot, but
I think it's a 13, and I think that we're gonna wind up cutting part of it and probably only wind up doing 8 of it. But I think it's a 13.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be really hard to do because it involves everything. It's UX, it's UI, it's in-game stuff, it's programming, it's art, it's everything.
Sure.
yeah, I could agree.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Keeping it as a 13 is fine. Steam product page. It looks like we're halfway through this-ish.
Yeah, we've actually done most of the groundwork. The things that we're waiting for are legal. We're a little bit blocked on that and may have to come up with a rudimentary EULA and TOS to kind of hold us over until we get the full documents back from legal
Mm-hmm.
or from the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Videos, we need narrative and, well, I mean, we kind of have a gameplay trailer, but not like a hype one.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on what we want there. I don't know what the design part of that checklist was, to be honest with you. Pricing matrix is showing up in a different card, so maybe we remove that from
Yeah, we should probably just take that
Steam
out of
product
here.
page. But it may be worth noting that on this Steam product page because we should explicitly call out what we intend to do
Yes.
between early access and full launch,
Yeah.
and then explain that on some of the comms of that page.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll leave that. I will put pricing matrix like FAQ.
Yep.
on that checklist.
What I would like to do is just do a reevaluation a little bit of this card with after reading that article that came up, just making sure we think about the stuff from that article and the screenshots and tags and stuff specifically on that. And then the other piece of this card that I'd like to note is it would be best if we could get the product page up sooner rather than later in a coming soon status so we can start getting wish lists.
Okay.
So we should just think about how we get at least one version of the product page up, even if we're going to go through and update it later. But do we want to resize it based on any of that?
I think we should resize it.
Okay. To a
Yeah.
5?
Probably a 5,
Okay.
maybe a 3. It just depends on. I mean, I don't know how much work the EULA and the TOS is going to take. The videos themselves probably are significant.
Yeah, working with the yes, jazz hands. Working with the lawyer is always a slow process, so we'll keep it at a 5.
Okay.
Cool. Game clarity, tooltips, and UX. Someone want to talk about this?
Yeah, I mean, this is general suggestions and stuff that people had that we just wanted. It's a lot of tooltip, like better tooltipping, and then the action little action tickers have more details in them or their own tooltips that can explain some of this stuff. I don't think any of it is incredibly hard. It's just a number of these things all over the place. So,
what do you think, George? Anything to add there?
I'm obviously I want to do this. I'm curious whether or not you guys agree. I'm not actually sure. Should it be for MVP Steam? Should all
Yes.
4 of these be for MVP Steam?
Yeah, because it's tripped up our people playtesting it already.
Can I add one?
Sure.
It'd be cool if you moused over a cooldown ability and it told you how long the cooldown was going to last for.
Yeah, on the tooltips, it should show you cooldowns if something's on a cooldown. I would agree.
Do we have that tooltip card somewhere?
Isn't that what we're talking about?
This is the tooltip card. This is the tooltips and UX clarity. So this is the place that we'd want to be adding any of those. And I do agree. One thing, does it have it? Oh, it doesn't have it on here. In general, on ability tooltips, we don't show how long it takes for the ability to run, and we don't show what its cooldown is anywhere on the tooltips, and that needs to be on the tooltips.
Okay. I want to add an item that is to actually create a template that is consistent across all of our tooltips. As in, like, what is the order in which all these occur?
Sure. There's going to be some things that don't obey that already.
And that's fine, but we should have
Okay.
a pretty, like, all of the similar types of actions should have a template.
Well, there should be an ability.
We do have that already.
Which already it is.
Yeah.
We just don't have all the information presented on it. Like
exactly.
We're just
Yeah.
not even reading it. We have
already.
Yeah. It's actually just knowing what information is missing or shouldn't be on there.
One of the little hotel kitties just came by to say hello to me. That was cute. They have cats everywhere here, just running around outside all the time.
All the feral cats.
But they're not like feral cats in the US. They're kind of like domesticated outside shared cats. How to describe it?
They're community
Like, they
community
get fed.
cats.
Yeah, they get fed every day by probably multiple community members because I bet they play their cards right. But they're really cute and nice.
Cool. So it's a big collection of stuff. I've added the things that we talked about it. I assume that if playtesters come back with other stuff that is consistently tripping them up, we'd add it. With this batch of stuff, do we want to size this?
It kind of feels like some of them are almost bugs as opposed to features, but I think we should size it.
Okay. Are people ready to size it?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. 3, 2, 1, go. 5, 5, 8, 3. 3 5s, an 8 and a 3. So 5.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to fight me?
Always.
Yes, but not over this.
As a player, I want to be able to repair damaged installations. Do installations get damaged?
They
could.
There's an event that does it.
Yeah, and then there's no way to repair it. And basically this is a thing of as we were building out the idea of the captains, there is especially the dismantle. I may want to reconfigure my ships based on what ability a captain has over time. Like,
yep.
Are the captains in here, or are the captains in the next release?
No, they're in here.
The captains are 2 cards down. So
I kind of feel like we should skip this one, actually. I think we should push this out and then pull it in if we have time, which we might have time or we might not. I feel like this is not critical for the MVP. Like, we just don't use abilities that deal with damaged installations. installations for right now. Like it. I mean, like I said, everything that I've said about pushing out right now, I want it, but I don't think it's needed for MVP.
So if we
Like we
just
said-
if we just don't have events that trigger damaged installations, we don't
Yeah,
need to
nothing
open them.
gets damaged.
Like
But-
it's one of the things that we want to pull in as soon as possible, but I
Yep.
think we could push it out of this next
And
release.
I do want to do the next one though, because I want to be able. There is times when I want to.
dismantle installations.
Yeah,
That's fine. So
'cause I
talk.
want to open up hard points.
Yep. Talk about dismantling installations then.
Honestly, this shouldn't be a hard thing. I don't.
Yeah, destroy it. Maybe get like 25% of what you paid for it or something or whatever.
Yeah, some small amount of resources back or some chunk of resources back, and you get a hard point back.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Cool. Want to size it?
yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Looks like a 3, so I'll put an 8.
An 8 is just a 3 with some extra on the edges, right?
It's just a thick 3.
Yeah, it's just a thick boy 3.
As a player, I manage ship captain's specialties and personalities to be able to make game decisions. This is currently at an 8. Do we continue to feel that it is
I don't
an 8?
think it's at an 8 because we've done the design on it.
Okay. How do other people?
This is a very design-focused card. This would we've created those initial content of like what we want from captain abilities.
The last time we talked about this, I actually moved it into validation on Friday, and then someone said that
Moved
this
it to the back.
included implementation. And so we moved it back.
I kind of still feel like the implementation is going to be an 8 on this, based on the abilities and stuff. I feel like we're going to run into a bunch of stuff. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I would have estimated this at an 8 still, even just the implementation part.
Are these? There's a document linked in here, but there's like no information. Is there a bigger document on this?
Did you check the sheets underneath?
What does that mean? I went to a doc.
Oh,
Not
this
a
is the
sheet.
doc.
This
Oh,
is the
this is the-
doc with it has the
Where did we put?
initial notes, but
Oh, it's
then
the
there's
content creation spreadsheet.
there's a
Okay.
content creation doc where we made a
The list.
Okay.
We didn't link that to this because we're bad.
Well, crap, my battery's about to die, so I need to go back to my room. So I'm going to bring the laptop with me. You guys are going to go on a journey with me.
Yay, journey.
Okay.
I'd always like to go on a journey with you.
That's my favorite band.
Is it really?
No.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. We're halfway there.
Stop.
So I linked.
Oh, you liked it. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's a ghostly bear.
Whoa. Thank you, Ant.
Excellent. Excelente.
Scratch my back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So these are what we've decided to. The chance would be like, yep, this is the number of captains we'd want to implement. Or not even captains, because the way this would work is a ship comes with a captain. Depending on what faction that ship is, it could pull from the faction ability or any of these generic abilities. And you get one. So the big part would be implementing some of these effects, although a lot of them are not hard.
Inexperienced.
Yeah, this has nothing.
Poor guy.
Let's forget.
So, what are we feeling on size wise?
I think keep it at an 8.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Now we should just say it's the implementation piece.
Excuse me.
You're fine. As a player, I want to start with a unique fleet so that I feel like I'm on a unique journey.
Sorry, the
Oh,
back-to-back
we've,
uniques made me laugh.
we already did the create a content spreadsheet.
As a unique, I want to start with a unique so that I feel like I'm a unique.
Snowflake.
Oh, this is the same doc.
Yeah.
Ships.
Oh.
Oh.
Ship variation is needed.
Is it in ships? Where is this?
I don't think we actually did any work on this.
On this one?
We decided to deprioritize making more ships, right?
At the moment, yeah.
When we were doing that, yeah.
So you
And
might
if we
just
do,
get
if we want to pull in another ship, we have 2 completely unused ship types that we could pull in. If we wanted to say, hey, one is like the survey ship or something like that, we can give it long range scanners or.
How much of this is the draft thing?
Most of it.
Most of it.
So that this is implementing the draft.
It's through an MVP, which is mostly just a menu on your first jump area.
So it's going to be choices. It's not going to be RNG.
Yeah, it's going to be an RNG list of choices for you to make.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all the things. So it's currently at a 5. Do we feel like it's a 5?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yes.
Do we need to design more ships? It didn't seem like you guys had come to a conclusion on that.
I would say
for the initial.
MVP, try to do it without creating more ships, but if we feel like it of course doesn't hurt to have more ships.
We were just gonna have it with ship captains, right? Ship captains and
The type of ship and the captain that's on it.
were we gonna RNG installation and faction?
Faction would be RNG'd.
Installations were supposed to be, we have a starting set that gets distributed amongst your ships, but that's the starting set is fixed, so that you can't get hosed completely.
So one military ship might scan and another military ship might exploit. Is that
Yeah.
the idea? Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that we had a discussion that we were going to RNG some
Oh, yeah.
installations onto ships, but by and
Yeah.
large, most ships would not come with installations, but we would increase the amount of metal that
Oh
players
yeah, and you can just
Yeah.
so that they could
Yeah, we
build
can do
the
that
ship.
too.
configure
You're right,
how they
you're
want to
right.
build the ship. Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then the RNG installations would be like a lot of the one-shot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, just making sure, because I thought we had talked about that, but I don't know if we wrote that down anywhere, because
What is
Does
game
this-
logic?
okay. Then do we still feel it's a 5 after that change too?
Does this involve playtesting and balance and shit?
Nah.
Not balance, but you know what I
No.
mean, like making it not suck.
Once we actually put this in, we just won't play the game ever again.
Okay.
Yes, it
But
does.
yes, this would increase. But we should. It's just going to be a constant playtesting and tweaking.
Yeah.
Because if it does, I think this is an 8.
Well, we kind of have a card that's considered for all the playtesting.
Okay.
For like the game itself, which I'm sure
Is that one like a 60 then?
probably. I mean, it's a daily thing.
You know. Yeah.
Why are you sticking half-eaten candy in the camera?
It's a raisin.
Oh.
It's
Candy.
nature's candy.
I mean, if you cover it in chocolate, I mean, is it still half-eaten candy if you just eat the chocolate?
I was holding it to the camera to show you guys that I love grapes in all their forms. The one I just showed you, and this one.
Are half-eaten chocolate raisins really candy though?
Yes.
Okay, just make sure.
Happy
What
to help
about
with that.
yogurt covered raisins?
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, that sounds
why-
delicious.
Oh, yeah, they're so great. God, I'm so hungry. Anyways.
All right, so
All right,
I'm
next.
fine with this staying as a 5.
Same.
Okay, next.
Eula
I don't
and TOS.
Sure.
Oh, so I guess we broke that as a separate card. So, do we want that as a separate card, or do we want that as a part of the Steam product page?
Let's keep it as a separate card because then we can just isolate it to lawyers and stuff.
Okay.
And this can be an infinitely large card. I mean, realistically, I actually think Hans is pretty far on this.
He is.
I think it's a lot of just going back and forth with the lawyers, which is always just a slow process, not from an actual work required, but just time it takes to hear back from them. I don't really know how best to account for that because it's like not a lot of work, but it will probably get blocked a lot. So
Yeah. And I mean, I'm here. I'm on this card to be the annoying person that bumps Hans all the time on it. So I guess I'll just keep doing that.
maybe a 5? Is that high?
Probably. Maybe it's like a 3, but it's an annoying
Yeah, I
3.
was gonna say 3.
It's like the most annoying 3 you could possibly have assigned to you.
Well, we'll do 3 and see what Hans says when he comes back.
Yeah.
So if Hans really cared about us, he'd be watching the stream.
Well,
I don't
Will,
watch
were you
this
trying
one.
to say it's a 1, or were you trying to raise your
It's a 1.
finger?
Make the lawyers do it.
Cool, make it a 3.
The work to make the lawyers do it though is actually
hard.
kind of a 3.
Yes. Yes.
I,
As I have experienced in a past life, making lawyers do anything that you want is always hard.
I love our lawyers, but they are very slow. Gameplay teaser trailer. Talk to us, Brandon.
Me?
Yes.
Because
this is different than the narrative teaser. The narrative teaser I'm driving on. The gameplay teaser is what
I mean,
you
I
added.
did the reshoot of our gameplay, like our how to play trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So, if anything, what I would do is I would add sections for replayability and probably a section for factions once we deepen the number of quests that we have there. So it would be adding 2 more sections to that video.
Okay.
That would probably, I mean, it really depends on when we get those things built because obviously we need to have them working with UX, or sorry, with UI
Mm-hmm.
that I can then capture and speak to. So this is blocked pretty heavily by other work.
Yeah, but
But
this is also
also-
not a gameplay explanation. That's not what this video is.
We want this to be like a.
It's
a
a
hype.
it's a teaser hype thing.
I mean, I can. If that's the case, then I can get that done pretty quickly. That's easy. We already have like the shots that we know are cool and the shots that
Brandon Hype Lord.
there are not. I don't know. This would probably be like a 45 to 60-second reel of ships jumping, cool shots of nice looking
But yeah, just
systems.
implying what you're
Beeps and-
actually doing.
Yeah, beeps and boops and sounds and
We have to
Like,
hire the trailer guy
trails.
though, right? In a universe.
yeah. I can get a deep voice mod going.
I'll do it. I'll do it with my Aunt Phyllis voice. She'll be the best.
Yeah, I actually think this is really fast. It'd probably be like 60 seconds of stuff that we'd have to shoot. A lot of just to pick like really nice looking scenes.
Okay.
So, I mean, if that's what you want out of it and not like a how to play, then yeah, this should be relatively fast to make. And then it'll just be like a constant feedback and editing process with Carl probably. Be like, I
and the
like
team.
that. And the team, yes.
I'll show you. I don't expect us to go this far, but this was what the teaser trailer for the last game that I did on Steam. Like this was its teaser hype. Trailer.
Ow! Oh Jesus! I'm sorry. I just stubbed my
Wow,
toe.
you really didn't make the video.
This was the early access trailer.
I do like this music.
The music's awesome.
yeah, it is.
And I'm not saying it had, like, we had a lot of content by that point to do. But it generally just gets across the, like, this is what you're doing in the game. Like,
I guess the issue here is that we'll probably have like 45 seconds.
yeah.
And it's definitely not going to have hype music. We're going to have light piano trills and
Yeah.
space boop beep boops.
Why can't
Base
it have
melting
light
strategy
music?
is a great tagline.
It's going to be very it's going to be a little bit more serene and peaceful. And maybe
Yes.
like would you like to come on this journey with us?
Yeah, and if we need to hit back up Jeff for any supplemental music or whatever, like if we're like trying to work on that and we just want it to not be the same piece of music over and over again, we can always hit him back up.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, yeah. So I'm shooting for 45 to 60 seconds of content.
Yep.
So with probably 2 to 3 reshoot or like editing cycles for feedback.
Yeah.
Ready to size?
yes. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, 5. All right.
All right, you're gonna screw yourself. All right.
No, it's fine. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone.
basically. Yes.
5.
Okay.
Steam deploy pipeline. Ant, could you speak to this at all, or is this a
Not
we need
really.
Hans?
It's more of a Hans thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's probably a 3 or a 5, depending on how much
Yeah.
he hates Jenkins and Jenkins hates Steam.
We're just gonna leave it
Jenkins is
unsized.
involved. Just go to
Huh?
a bigger number. Go to
Yeah, let's
5.
just not
You
size
said-
it in as
You
cons.
said Jenkins.
We said Jenkins, therefore add 3.
Therefore, minimum 5.
Minimum 5, maybe add.
Yeah, you just
add
bump to the
8.
higher number if Jenkins is involved.
Now it's a 21.
It seems reasonable.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. 21 it is.
As a player, I would like to see credits. We have a bunch of this done. We just bumped it out. I do think credits are important to have in the game if we ship it to a live population.
I still think it's a 2. It's
Okay.
because you're not expecting, like, you just want basically a dialogue that pops up that has the credits in it right now. Yeah, that's a 2.
Okay.
As long as someone collects the data and formats it properly.
Yeah, I can do that, and I can put it in JSON and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow I will find a way to crash the game with that JSON file. Just you wait. But
You won't.
there will be some amount of teamwork from a standpoint of, like, if there are special credits, if we want to put production babies as an example, or you want to thank your parents or something, like, we need to collect that information. The rest of the credits I can collect, like all the contract stuff that we've done and all that stuff I can put in there. But if folks have specific people they want to call out or thank in there, then I would need that from you. Will is like, I don't want to acknowledge that I exist or any humans connected to me exist.
No, you can put my name on there. No one else did anything.
Perfect. Cool. As a company, I would like to have test ads for marketing, budgeting, and marketing campaign planning.
I actually have like a good amount of this work ready to go. Just need to know that this is what we want.
Yeah, so I think we want to go over this. I think it would also be worthwhile once we have the wish list page, or the page up for wish listing, running some ads to try and push people to it to get wish lists would be good, and sort of let us play with the system and understand costs and all that kind of stuff. And so we should try and plan to do that in this sprint.
Okay.
Is it a 3, or do we feel like we have more of this done already?
I think it's a 3, but I can prioritize the wish list page and then book something with you and Hans to get some things running through this week.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll book something with you guys tomorrow. Well, hopefully Hans is back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then see if I can get the wish list page up on Steam today.
Okay. And then I added one at the bottom, which is the narrative foundation document. This is mostly getting the team to read through documents and provide comments and feedback. And then me working with Matt, who is the guy doing it. Outside of this, I have a first draft, or an early draft. It's not a first draft, an early draft that he put in where he started doing this work. I put it in the ish folder so people can go and comment on it. But it's just work that's going to be happening in the background to hopefully give us more stuff to build off of. I don't think it's a crazy amount of work. It's just everyone's time to read through it when there are new drafts and add comments and stuff. And then my time to just... I talk to him in Discord, so it's pretty easy. So, I mean, I'd size it... Well, let's size it, I guess. Yeah. 3, 2, 1... I see you, George. But I'm also putting a 2 because everyone else said 2. Cool. So that's everything in Release 6.
We have 73 points in Release 6 right now. Which
Will.
seems to be about right.
Yeah.
That seems to be the average, yeah.
For Release 5 done, we have 40 plus another 21 invalidate.
Yes.
I forget what we had in Release 4. I think it was a little bit more than that, but around there.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Yep. Okay, let's take a look at backlog in Release 7 really quick. Just because, like, if we're thinking about this stuff to be pulled in, we should prioritize. And size stuff so that it can be pulled in easily.
What about backlog before Release 6? The backlog column as well.
Yeah, that's
Like
what I
the-
mean. I mean both. Yeah, I mean both backlog and Release 7. So the goal should be backlog is we haven't assigned it to a release yet. We know we need to do the work, but we're not sure where it's going to go. And then Release 7 is like, this is a thing. I know we bumped the videos. Brandon, should we just remove the week 36 and 35 videos and put the appropriate weeks? Okay.
Yep.
The create a reaction icon for captured or documented. Do we want our own icon? Because you also just already said, like, show that we have the pencil and notepad we're using to show captured bugs.
Yeah, this got put in by, I think, Hans when I was at his house and we were setting it up. I think the goal is to move to having custom reactions in there, and I'm sort of just kind of doing that in the background, is trying to find some artists to do some emotes and reactions and stuff. But I don't think it's a high priority or super needed, so I'm archiving it. So the log presentation stuff, did we want to put that in Release 7? Or keep it... Okay. Metrics and ish website, or let's see, company PRS. That's just backlog. Adapting music, is that farther than Release 7?
Probably. Yeah. I'll be honest.
I don't think we could prioritize
that. Quest to have a narrative element, is that Release 7 or farther?
I think that's actually Release 7. It's not going to be a hard thing.
Okay.
Presentation.
Do we think in Release 7 we're going to have more metrics that we want to add as far as triaging problems and balancing the game? I know that's sort of like a little ongoing thing, but okay, I'll put that there.
I think yes. Yeah.
If we're getting more, well, I don't know if we need more content for Ish. I think that's backlog. Do we need to put the debug menu in release 7, or is that farther out? Because it sounds like you guys are just not as worried about that.
It's
a nice thing, but it's not a. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It still hasn't taken that priority level of like, oh god, this has to be there now.
So I'll say that the Galaxy map has probably saved me a huge chunk of time debugging all the stuff that I've been doing with long range scanning and Galaxy stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know how useful other debug things in that menu will be. Probably be really useful when we start testing in earnest.
Let's
Especially
leave it at 7 for now.
Yeah, especially the like granting resources and just
Yeah.
being able to cheat various things in the middle of the game. I think that because right now you can cheat at the start of the game, but you can't cheat anywhere else, and that's what the debug menu allows you to do is cheat in other places. So, I, God, it's one of those things that it's like we really should do it, but it really isn't a high priority. Except it is, except it's not. It kind of just the amount of like the whole point of it is supposed to be that it pays for itself time wise and more over later on.
Yep.
But it's not a guarantee, and so it's kind of like I just don't know.
So let's keep it in the backlog for now. Depending on how this sprint goes, like if it starts to feel like we need to put more time in, or we need to prioritize it and put it into 7, we always can. But if we make it through this sprint and we don't feel that pinch or pain anywhere because we can edit JSONs and stuff pretty easily through the save data right now, then we can keep on keeping on with that for now and see how we get through once we're on Steam. Cool. So I did a quick prioritization pass on release 7, just to sort of like think through it. We need money is not. I mean, that's a large number, 21 plus. Content evaluation through playtesting feels a lot like the game balance through playtesting. It's just first let's get the game balanceable, and then after the game is in a better state of balance and immediate playtesting, then we start going like, okay, where are people running out of content? Let's start adding or changing stuff. Dubers are already sized. The log presentation is already sized. I think that's just continuing to talk with Tyson to revise how that looks and feels. He's already done one pass on some of that stuff, and we just need to actually continue that work versus sort of moving it to the side.
Time-based log?
This is something from a while ago. I put it here because I'm not sure if we still wanted to do it.
Is it kind of like a dupe of that one above it?
Well, we've talked about the one above it. Is every time I jump, I get some sort of summary screen, so I sort of know, like in jump 3, all this stuff happened. At one point, we talked about like, okay, if I'm sitting in a system for more than X minutes, having some sort of log also show up. I don't know if that's a thing we feel like we need still, or if we just want to kill it because the thing.
I think I want to kill it now and bring it back if the jump thing isn't enough, or we feel like we need to push it more.
Celestial bodies I encounter to feel diverse. This is mechanics. As a player, I would like Quest to have a narrative element. Let's size this. You want to talk about it, Anthony, really quick?
I think it's a quick design time to get aligned on exactly what we want out of there. Proposed ways that we would present this, but the actual like JSON files have the property and description stuff in there that have descriptive text to the quests. So a lot of the backend is already done. It's just not displayed anywhere. So I think this really is just us as doing a short amount of design time on like how do we want to actually like present this,
Would this also include?
and then rewrite those little descriptive elements.
Would
with the
this
same-
also include having events tied to faction loyalty at all? Like having the ability to plus or minus faction loyalty?
No, we should just add a card to do that, and I don't think that'll be hard.
Okay. Then I would like to add that card somewhere, but I have no idea.
Why don't we add it into the bottom of release 7? Because it seems like a thing.
That's fine.
So let's size the quest to have an area development. 3, 2, 1, go.
I only say 3 because of the design time piece.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm okay getting into 3.
I don't think it's a big.
Narrative teaser, it's getting a bunch of voice lines recorded from various people and then potentially having Tyson do some more of that art that he did to sort of bolster our ability to motion graphics, After Effects, that stuff, and then working probably with him, Hans, and Brandon to cut something together that follows the script. To me, there's a high degree of we don't know what we're doing, and so we're gonna hack it together. But none of the individual pieces, like it doesn't. I don't know. This is a weird one in that none of the pieces feel particularly unknown to me. It's just going through them and figuring it out, and I think it's going to be more complicated than we think, but not so much so that I'm like, oh my god, this is impossible. So
okay.
I don't know if that's a good description. Anyway, let's size. 3, 2, 1, go. 13s, 8s, 5s.
Oh, geez. I was way off.
I don't even know what that number is, Will. Was that an 8? Yes,
8.
that's an 8. Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I was at an 8 until you said the last part, and then I was like 13.
are you? I guess. Are you going to be coordinating it? Who's going to be like coordinating all those disparate pieces?
I can coordinate the disparate pieces.
Okay. Then I stand ready to cut things up randomly and shove them into a video.
We'll throw it at an 8 and see if Anthony was right.
Yeah. I feel like I would put money on Ant.
As a player, I want to be able to repair damaged installations.
I think we already have this ability. Like, it's just exposing it again. So yeah.
Ready?
So it's a small bit of UI, and then.
Yeah. All right. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1.
2 or 3. Yeah.
And then add faction loyalty as a resource alterable by events.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is just a. What would this require? Well, the events need to know if a faction is being tagged by the event, and then it can just modify it. So that's all it needs to do.
Yeah, I would imagine it's just you type in the name of the faction and you type in a number.
Yeah, that's all it is. Cool. So yeah.
Assuming all of this data is in a global resource container that's easily accessible, then this should be pretty trivial.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
I just like it so that when I read events, I can mess with faction loyalty.
Cool. 3.
I already thought it was happening
2,
when I playtested this morning.
1. Size.
Oh, really? I think it's going to be harder than that, guys.
Why?
I don't know. I just.
It's not clear to me how this is different than all of the other resources we change.
I mean, it just lives in a different
Okay,
slot.
fair
It's a
enough.
there's a faction object, and it has an approval rating on it, and that just
I mean, if the factions are just different enums, then it's literally identical.
that's
to the
all
way
it
we do
is.
Resource
That
caches.
it is exactly like that. You're just effectively
Okay.
saying, "Hey, give me this. Give me blah faction. I'm going to adjust its resource." It's
Yeah, I think we can copy paste the code and change one line.
Then
Yeah.
give.
2.
It's so good. It's way better storytelling.
Cool. All right, so we have 2 releases, pretty well planned. Currently, release 6 is 73 points. There are further 36 points in release 7 that are available to pull in. There's another 18 points in backlog. The thing we should do is, now that hopefully I'm not traveling and we're all back on normal schedules, plan on Wednesday, the production time meeting, to be filling out more into the backlog and looking at further expansions and talking about what we want to see on the horizon on this stuff, so that we can start filling out the backlog and the cards to have more points and stuff that we want to do. So why don't we go through now, though, on release 6 and make sure that everything has a label for who's going to be the product owner of that card, and then attach yourself to cards that you think you want to have a hand in.
Okay.
We were just doing this manually.
Yeah, everyone can just go and do it. Also, Ant, why do you have 2 labels?
I don't know. Why do I have 2 labels?
I don't know. Do you want to be green or yellow?
Yellow. Yellow's fine.
My labels are the same. My label's the same color as operations and business. I don't know how I feel about that.
There's a limited number of colors.
Why can't I join this card? Oh, I'm already on it. Never mind. Lola. I was like, where's the join button? That was stupid of me.
I'm gonna be on this guy. I'll take it.
Okay. Wait, are we doing this for release 7 too, did you say?
I mean, I don't think we need to do it for release 7 unless we drag stuff in. So if we drag it in, it should be labeled up appropriately. But
Pulling myself.
as a player, I want to be able to dismantle installations. Does not have an owner yet.
No, I was an owner on it.
It probably happened when I deleted your other label.
Oh.
Oh yeah, your picture isn't even on it anymore yet.
No, I'll try to turn them up.
What else doesn't have it? Anything else? No, it looks
Game
like
balance
we're
through
good.
playtesting technically doesn't have an owner.
I'll take it. I'll make sure we're
You'll
doing
harass
this.
people to playtest.
Yeah, I will poke all the people.
My name's not on anything right now.
That's
But
probably
I'm
good.
That's
generally
the
okay
smartest
with
thing
that.
to do possible. Yeah.
Wow, rude.
Okay. You're the one that had a baby.
You're the one who's drinking.
Yeah, and I do it every day.
It's also
Maybe it's every day.
what?
That's not
10
true.
10 o'clock at night for you right now?
Yeah, well, no, it's 9, but
9?
it's 15. Yeah.
But it,
Although
it feels like 10 o'clock.
it It feels like I'm gonna go to sleep pretty soon, actually.
Same.
Nice.
I thought that was a good same.
Cool.
All right.
So I'm going to move release 6 into the sprint board, and then people should make sure to spend time today filling out checklists and definitions of done where they don't have it. And then
Yeah.
let's do work and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm hopping back on that cannot build installations bug. I really want to track that down.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Later, folks.
Cool.
Goodbye, friend.
Thanks.
Hey, and
Bye.